What's going on, noobs? I am Rory, the Perpetual Noob, and welcome back to my Hollow Knight boss discussion series. This is the 10th video in a series where I'll be discussing each boss of Hollow Knight. Where we can find them, how we can defeat them, and how does this boss fit into the world of Hollow Knight. Today, we'll be talking about Watcher Knight. We can find Watcher Knight near the top of the Watcher's Spire in the City of Tears. We'll know we're at the right place when the music of the City of Tears falls away, and we find a lot of dead bodies with a ton of tiny infected flies overhead. The gates drop, closing us in, and some infected flies fill one of the dead bodies, resurrecting it into Watcher Knight. Watcher Knight will swing their giant nail at us twice. Watcher Knight will swing horizontally first and follow it up with an overhead slash. Watcher Knight does move forward slightly with each swing. Watcher Knight telegraphs this attack when they draw their nail back with both arms, like they're about to swing a baseball bat. Then the first attack comes, looking like our own nail art, Great Slash. The second attack comes less than half a second later. It is telegraphed by Watcher Knight when they hold their nail behind their back. Then they swing the nail down. Let's call this attack the Double Slash attack. Watcher Knight curls up into a spiky ball of death and rolls along the floor of the arena. Watcher Knight only stops rolling when it hits a wall, so they'll cross the entire arena. Watcher Knight is completely invulnerable while rolling. Watcher Knight telegraphs this attack when they make a short hop into the air and begin to curl up. Then they turn into the spiky ball of death. They're like Sonic the Hedgehog, but less cute. Let's call this attack the Roll attack. Watcher Knight curls up into a spiky ball of death and bounces twice. When they do this attack, Watcher Knight will attempt to target us, which can mean that Watcher Knight may simply bounce in place rather than travel around the arena. The first bounce takes Watcher Knight to the top of the arena, and the second bounce takes them only to the middle. Once again, Watcher Knight is completely invulnerable when rolling. Watcher Knight telegraphs this attack when they prepare like they are going to do a roll attack, but after Watcher Knight begins rolling, they take another short hop before launching high into the air. Let's call this attack the Bouncing Roll attack. There are just some charms I should always have equipped for a boss fight, namely, Quick Focus and Thorns of Agony. Watcher Knight took several attempts to beat, and in my victorious attempt, my plan worked out to be swing my nail as often as possible, stay as close as possible to get Thorns of Agony working, and heal as often as possible. Obviously, all three of those tactics cannot happen simultaneously, but that was the general theme. Quick Focus was absolutely necessary, of course, because I needed as many hit points healed as possible during those seemingly very brief moments of respite from the onslaught that is Watcher Knight. Thorns of Agony was just there to maximize my damage while doing what I do best, getting whacked in the face. My other equipped charms for my victorious run were Grub Song and Quick Slash. Grub Song, because after those previous attempts, I knew I'd be taking tons of damage from Watcher Knight, and Grub Song really helped keep the soul meter filling. And Quick Slash is just a fun charm because it allows me to mash the attack button and I'll swing my nail nearly as fast as I press the button. It helps get in some extra necessary hits. Though, when bouncing on Watcher Knight with downward slashes, I did have to slow down my attacks, otherwise I'd swing too early and just land on Watcher Knight. Watcher Knight is an overwhelming fight the first time, and that certainly affected me. I had no idea when to heal or how to handle the roll or bouncing roll attacks. Handling the double slash attack is fairly simple because we can dash, jump, and even walk away from that. After those failed attempts, I cobbled together a few methods for mitigating the roll attacks. We can jump over the roll attack, and if we need to remain in the air even longer, we can strike Watcher Knight with a downward slash, and we'll bounce off of them. To avoid the bouncing roll attack, I found it was best to stay as close to the ground as possible, and move towards the bouncing Watcher Knight. Or sometimes it was just safer to dash left or right because Watcher Knight would bounce straight up and down. The point is, the bouncing roll attack was trickiest to avoid, but not impossible. My fight involved 6 Watcher Knights. Thankfully, we never have to fight more than 2 at a time. The fight starts with 1, and if we don't defeat that one within 22 seconds, a second one is reanimated, because obviously this fight needs to be harder. However, If we manage to defeat the first one before the 22-second mark, 2 Watcher Knights come to life, and we will continue fighting 2 Watcher Knights simultaneously until we reach the final Watcher Knight. Each Watcher Knight has their own health, like the Mantis Lords from the previous video. Watcher Knights only take damage when they are not spiky balls of death, which can drag the fight on a bit, but Watcher Knights can be quite gracious with the amount of time they give us to whack them with our nail. Remember how I mentioned in the Mantis Lords video it was foolish of me to think I was invincible with 7 hit points? Yeah. Just before the Watcher Knight arena, there is a secret area above you where you can knock down the left chandelier, destroying 1 Watcher Knight, so instead of having to fight 6 Watcher Knights, like I did, you'll only have to fight 5. The spell Vengeful Spirit could be useful because it would hit both Watcher Knights if they were both vulnerable at the same time. Desolate Dive is still a good spell because of all the invulnerability it provides. The Charms, Spell Twister, and Shaman Stone are great for minimizing the soul cost of your spells and maximizing your spell damage. If you're looking to not worry about healing and just use spells for your damage, charms like Joni's Blessing, Hive Blood, and Fragile Heart can help you survive. Upgrading the Mothwing Cloak ability to the Shade Cloak is a great option. The Shade Cloak is found at the bottom right of the Abyss, and it grants us the ability to safely dash through enemies and their attacks. Having the Shade Cloak would make dodging the roll and bouncing roll attacks so much simpler. Don't forget to upgrade your nail at the Nailsmith. Keep finding more charms and charm notches, and collect mask shards to gain more hit points. Please see the Soul Master video for a more in-depth general discussion about playstyles and charm combinations. Once Watcher Knight is defeated, the gates barring our progress open up, allowing us to continue ascending the Watcher's Spire to eventually reach, after a long elevator ride, Lurien, the Watcher. Lurien is one of the 3 dreamers keeping the infection sealed within the Black Egg. He, like Hera, was a loyal subject of the king of Hallownest. Lurien spent his days observing and watching, get it, the citizens of the City of Tears and keeping the king abreast of their lives. The last words Lurien ever wrote are found in his study. They read, "Sleep beckons eternal, and these words become my last. Though my gaze shall no longer fall upon this city, I will act forever in its protection. For king, for bug, for Hallownest, I head now to my rest." The dreamers all knew what they were getting into when they chose this fate of endless sleep. They all did it to protect the aspects of Hallownest they loved. And each dreamer also had their own way of protecting themselves to ensure, as best as possible, that their sleep would not end. Hera had all of Deep Nest, and possibly the Mantis Lords, and Lurien had his Watcher Knights. What will we find when we seek out the final dreamer? That's it for our boss discussion about Watcher Knight. Thank you for joining me today, noobs. Stay tuned for future Hollow Knight boss videos. If you've got any thoughts about the Watcher Knight fight, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. I am the Perpetual Noob, and I'll see you all next time.